Okay, I have listened to excuse after excuse after excuse of people saying that they can't ride every day. And I'm going to recreate for all of you just how easy it is to start riding every day. Now, to start the very first day, I'm starting this on May 1st of 2021, and I'll be riding every day of May. And it is 2:12. I am picking a time, an hour. I'm going to try to ride every day around noon of every day of May. And this will be my first ride of May 2021. And what I did when I started, I'm recreating, is I rode from here, the beginning of my driveway, up to the end of the street, which is right around there, and I came back. And I'm going to recreate that and do this every day. So let's get to the first day. I've got my bike, and I'm going to ride to the end of the street and back, just to show you how quickly you can ride. Okay, my day is now done of riding. It doesn't seem like much, but the first day I did this after not riding after 20 years, that took every bit of my effort to go to that top of the hill and come back down. And I was worn out as worn out could be. But you know, I've ridden today, and that's all that matters. I got my rear end in that seat, and I rode. I'll see you tomorrow, May 2nd. It is now May 2nd at 12:15 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm trying to recreate this the best I can, of how I started. And the second day I was riding, I was sore from riding the day before, even though it was just up to there somewhere, right around there, which is all of about 150 feet or about 30 yards or 10 meters, I guess, around 10 meters. I do have a much better bike than I did before, but the day after I was riding, my legs were sore, my back was sore. I think even my lungs were sore because I was breathing really heavy to make it up that hill. So I'm going to do my best to attempt to recreate my ride the second day I was riding. Although I picked a time that was best for me, and I stayed with that time. That time I think was right around 5:45 or 6 p.m., which when I was getting home from work. Now that everyone's working from home, I'm working from home, so 12 noon from there or around will be a good time for me to recreate the 5:36 p.m., which was also, when I was doing this, was October, so it was almost dark when I was doing this, and it's going to be daylight this time. But the first time I rode up fairly fast. I probably did it in a minute 15, which if you noticed my ride yesterday, I probably did it in about 30 seconds, but I'm going to try to recreate the ride on my second day to show you the struggle that I was going through. So here's the second day ride. Day 2 ride. I wasn't feeling it, so I'm going to try to recreate how slow it was. I couldn't breathe by the time I made it back down. I was worn out, my legs hurt. But the fact was, I did it, and that's all that was important, was I was in the saddle, I made the distance I made the day before, and that's all I was worried about. I wasn't trying to set any world records, any time improvements, nothing. I was just trying to make myself do what I did the day before. And the day before, I was just setting a goal of something that I knew I could do, even though it's only 150 feet or 30 yards. It's something I knew I could do, and I probably could do every day. The second day, I had my doubts. The second day I rode that hill, I had my doubts, but I did it. I did it very slowly, because I hurt, I felt bad. Didn't want to do it, but I did. That's it. That's the main point. I'm done for the day. It is May 3rd at 2:13. And yes, it is raining. It was raining heavily just a few minutes ago. And it's not raining that hard now. But I am going to go riding even in the rain. Being May, it's decently warm. It's probably 68, 70 degrees outside. Kind of what room temperature is. Well, slightly below room temperature. But I'm in old shoes, old pants, and I have an old shirt on. So nothing's going to get ruined or wet. This is kind of one of the days where you don't want to go riding, but this ride is only going to be, let's see, this ride is only going to be about a minute, minute and a half at the most, if you're just starting out and riding up the hill. That's probably how long it took me. I will try to recreate that minute, minute and a half. Today would be one of the days where I'd feel better. My legs wouldn't hurt at all, but I tried to do my best. So let's get to the ride. Now, at this point in time, on the third day, I'd still be really, really worn out and tired. I'd probably be panting hard, not being able to breathe, and I wouldn't feel like moving at all. But, you know, my ride's done. I did the ride. I rode the same distance I rode the first day, which the first day I rode, that distance was about as far as I could go, and not feel like I was going to pass out or have a heart attack, especially at my age. And I completed it. I did it. I'm done for the day. Let's go inside. It is Monday or Tuesday, May 4th, at the right about the time that I would usually go riding. I'm recreating this to make it a little past the time, because I think on the fourth day I had made it home from work a little later than I usually did, and I was not feeling this ride. I did not want to ride up this hill up to there. I had forced myself to at least get to this far, to the point where I got my bicycle out and would go riding. So and then I stood at the end of the driveway thinking, do I really want to do this? And I needed to force myself, but I'm going to recreate what I did. And here it is. I am really not feeling this. I'm tired. I really don't feel like riding. I didn't make it all the way to the top of the hill. But, you know, that's okay. This isn't a race. I'm not trying to set any records, or speed records, or distance records, anything. My main goal on recreating this is just to get out every day and go for a ride. And I did a ride, although it's only about 100 feet. 50 feet out, 50 feet back. I did the ride. That's all that's important. That's all you need to focus on, is getting out, doing the ride, even 50 feet. If I can do it, you can do it. It is Thursday, May 5th, 2021, Cinco de Mayo. And I'm being attacked by all these Canadian geese for some reason. I keep telling them to go back to Canada and they don't listen to me. So I'm recreating my ride up this hill, and I have a neighbor's van that is parked almost in my driveway. So I'm going to change the camera angle and show me riding up this hill again for a better angle. The fifth day I was riding, I don't remember exactly. I think I got home on time. I was feeling better as opposed to the day before, which was I didn't even make it up halfway to the hill. But today I'm going to attempt a very slow ride to make it all the way up, and so hopefully I'll have a slightly better angle to see. So let's get to the ride. That's it. My ride is done. I made it to the top. That's all I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned with setting any records, any time. Just as long as I did the ride and made it the distance. And that I did today. So I'll see you tomorrow. It is Thursday, May 6th, 2021. And I'm on the 6th day of riding to the top of the hill there, and I'm still getting accosted by all these geese. See them? Hey, go back to Canada. So, as I am recreating this, as I am recreating this, I got home at a decent time. But, you know, after the 6th day, you start to have aches and pains. And the desire is waning, even though I think that I am improving my health. But they're getting closer. Hey, go back to Canada. So, in order to make it more easier for me, instead of going this direction, I am going to turn and go that direction. And it's about the same distance, and it's not as steep. So, let's get into the ride. So we're off. We're going to do the ride. I'm recreating the ride. And I'm going to do it slow because I wasn't really feeling it. And, you know, I was kind of aching. And it was late at night. It was October instead of May. It's probably cold too. So here's the recreation of the ride. I don't consider it cheating. I did the distance. This isn't a ride to set world record times. It's not to prove anything. It's only just to have seat time, get it done, and that's what I did. The ride's done. I've done it. That's all that needs to be done. See you guys tomorrow. It is Friday, May 7th. At almost 12:30, I had to wait a few minutes because the garbage truck was coming through. And although there's only like 15 houses on the street, it takes them like a half hour to get the garbage, and they don't even do it properly because they even missed one. But, and today's a little cold. Almost too cold to be out here in a short sleeve shirt. So, I am recreating my ride from my driveway to the top of the hill. And today is 1 week that I have been recreating this ride that I started on. So, that is cold. It's probably only about 60 degrees, if that. Maybe 58, 60 degrees, which is surprising for May, where I'm at. Man, that is cold. But let's get to this ride. I'm going to recreate. my ride is done for the day. Surprisingly enough, Leonard Lee, this ultra famous YouTube bicycle vlogger from the UK, asked today, what's the point of your ride? And there's one topic he forgot about, which was health. The reason why I started riding a bicycle is because in 2006, I went to the doctor's office probably the beginning of September, middle of September, for the flu, which was horrible. I was down for 8 days. And I had some tests done while I was there at the doctor's office for the flu. And the doctor said my blood pressure was extremely high. It was like 170 over 120. And he said at that time in 2006 that if I didn't do anything, or if I didn't start heart medication, that I could have a heart attack in 6 months or less. I will post a picture of what I looked like in 2006. I was probably 215 to 220 pounds at 6'1", and in my early 40s. And my dad died at age 57, which I'm less than two years from there. And I didn't want to have a heart attack like my dad did. I wanted to outlive my dad, which I have about 1.5 years to outlive my dad. So my doctor said, you're going to have to start taking heart medication. And I looked up and said, no, I'm not taking heart medication. The doctor says, you're going to have to start doing something, or it's going to be really bad in 6 months. My doctor told me that I needed to do something, and I didn't know what it was going to. So I told my doctor, no, I'm not taking heart medication, but I will do something. And the doctor said that I needed to do something soon. So I decided that I was going to go home, look around in my garage, and I found an old bicycle. And that's when I decided that I was going to start riding a bicycle. Now, I wasn't going to start doing it to set records, to set speed or distances. I was just going to ride my bicycle. That's it. And for me to be able to do it every day, I had to pick a distance that I knew I could do every day. And at the time, I was around 215 to 220 at 6'1", and I was in my early 40s. I had problems walking up the stairs at work. I was on a second floor of a 3-story building, and I had to walk up 2 flights of stairs a day, and that was getting to me. So after I recovered from the flu and felt better, which was probably 2 weeks or so, it was the beginning of October when I started, and I decided to ride from here to the end of the street. And that was going to be my exercise and health for not taking blood pressure medication. I had to pick a distance that I was going to be able to do every day and keep with it, because I knew I needed to do this to get my blood pressure down. So my challenge is for Leonard Lee, this very famous YouTuber from Great Britain with 500,000 viewers. I know I only have 3. Thanks, Steve, for watching my channel. And then there's Tom, and I think Carla has also joined my channel, the 3. Thanks for watching, and I'll probably post this sometime the evening today, which is Eastern Daylight Time, on May 7th, or sometime in the morning tomorrow. But this is part 1 of part 4. This is the first week of me riding every day and showing that I've ridden every day. And if I can do this, so can you. Thanks for watching my channel.